The Tri-States is waking up to freezing rain this morning as we take a look over our sky cams across the Tri-State area. Continue to follow breaking news for you. We've got a live look at a scene near Ewing, Missouri, where more than 500 hay bales are on fire. Welcome back, 619. We're going to take you live now to news happening now in Washington. That's a live look at the Senate floor. That is U.S. Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois. It is the moment many Black Friday shoppers have been waiting for.
Here we go. I'm going to get out of the way. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Doors are open now at Menards for Black Friday, and here they come.
We're still on scene working to clear the highway after a livestock trailer carrying 170 hogs crashed early this morning.
David, what can you tell us?
Well, Dylan, I'm here at 210 Kentucky, where, as you can see behind me, the house is completely destroyed.
The interesting thing about carbon monoxide is you have no idea really that it's happening until sometimes it's too late. How important is it to have those detectors?
It's essential. When you talk about carbon monoxide, it's a colorless, odorless gas. And
from WGEN in high definition, this is WGEN News Today, the Tri-States news leader.
Breaking news in the war on terror. Iraqi special forces have entered a military base next to Mosul's airport.
Plus, dangerous drivers from speeding to texting while driving. A new study points to who the worst behind the wheel are right now, currently out on our roads.
Good morning and welcome to Thursday. It's February 23rd, 2017. I'm Natalie Will.
And I'm Dylan Austin. Good morning. Those stories and much more to get to in the next 60 minutes ahead. Before we do that, we welcome in meteorologist Whitney Williams. Whitney, yesterday a foggy start followed by another beautiful day. Today, no fog, but a little chilly out there this morning.
It is a little chilly out there, and most of us aren't seeing fog, but we do have a few advisories out there right now. The dense fog advisory is in effect for Scott County in Illinois and Pike County, Illinois. You were just added to it. And 4 o'clock this evening, it's not going to be a washout today. We're talking about scattered showers, so not everybody will see the rain, but the potential is there to see just a little bit. And temperatures today only topping out near 60. Tomorrow we top out near 60, but then things really make a change. I'll have those details coming up.
All right, Whitney, thanks so much. Into your top local headlines now at 6:02. And new this morning, when you hit the road, do you wonder if the other drivers on the road are actually paying attention?
Yeah, that's a good question. New research shows that many of them are not.
WGEM's Stacy Smith joins us live in Quincy this morning with more.
A new study shows some shocking numbers. 88% of drivers ages 19 to 24 admit to engaging in risky behavior behind the wheel. And that's according to the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety. That includes things like texting while driving, running red lights, and speeding. Local driving instructors say distracted driving is a key reason why. And that's something that young driver Ashton Irwin is trying to avoid.
More so not look at my phone or like get distracted of a sign or somewhere. Try to just keep my eyes on the road and be safe and not crash.
Irwin also says that he knows that many teens text and drive, but he knows the dangers and he doesn't want to take the risk. Live in Quincy, Stacy Smith, WGEM News.
Stacy, thank you. Now to new information from a story we first brought you last night at 10. Quincy Public School officials are asking for the community's help to name the new elementary schools. Superintendent Roy Webb says the district is working on getting a naming committee together. The committee was brought up at last night's board meeting, and Webb says if any community members are interested, to give him a call. Webb says it's important that the community share their thoughts.
It's their schools. I mean, it's Quincy Public Schools, so they should have input on what those schools are named, and the board feels that that's the right way to do business.
Webb says that the district hopes to form the committee in the next couple of weeks.
On that same subject of schools, it's official. Monroe School in Quincy will be demolished this summer. The news comes after the Quincy Public School Board approved 2 key measures last night. The district set aside $225,000 for asbestos removal and building demolition, but bids came in lower. QPS actually ended up only paying $205,000. Board member Mike Trope says staying under budget has allowed the district to use the remaining money for projects such as the Baldwin School renovation.
3 of the elementaries that we have under contract are going to be under budget, which is good, which will help us for renovation work and new building here, as well as one other ground-up school.
Trope says the district hopes to begin asbestos removal and demolition work on the Monroe School site as soon as students leave for the summer.
As your child heads off for school this morning, do you feel that PE should be a required class? We have new reaction from parents this morning on a story we first brought to you at 10. In Illinois, PE has been mandatory for many years. However, a bill could change that. House Bill 440 would look to drop the class requirement. QPS Superintendent Roy Webb says that would allow more control for local districts. But new this morning, some parents don't feel it's a smart move.
The kids sit in the classroom all day and they need that time to get out and to move around and exercise and kind of take that mental break and get that chance to get some physical activity.
Superintendent Webb says the PE is important, but feels the districts can keep it a priority without mandates from the state.
And we are getting some new reaction this morning overnight from social media on this story. Here's some of that right now. Emily Nicole Wallace sarcastically writes, yeah, let's get rid of PE requirements. While you're at it, let's add more McDonald's so we can raise obesity.
In the meantime, Amy Kipping writes, them dropping it as a requirement does not necessarily mean that schools would drop it as a class. And parents hearing the story this morning, we want to know what you think as well. Post your comments on our WGEM Facebook page, and we'll share some of them throughout the morning.
All right, well, a temperature drop is on the way. You heard Whitney mention that a few minutes ago. Recent record warmth has had many of us gearing up for spring. The same goes for area businesses such as the Quincy Park District. They're already hiring seasonal workers. Around 50 to 70 workers will be hired to fill various jobs around the district, such as lifeguards, maintenance, and concessions. Officials say they often hear of people needing to build job experience, and seasonal work can help do that.
We try to emphasize that as you're working, you're building your resume basically, and if you do good with us, maybe full-time or higher up positions open up in the future, we tend to promote within if possible.
By the way, you can find applications on the Park District's website or at their district office, and a job fair will also be held at that district office on March 9th from 2 to 6 p.m.
We've seen one after another this winter, homes burning to the ground, mostly in rural areas where firefighter response time is longer and it's tougher to get water. The Quincy Fire Department says no matter where you live, home fire sprinklers can save lives and reduce property damage. With our cameras rolling, QFD put sprinklers to the test, demonstrating the difference between having them and not.
The fire department's trying to do right now is by educating people, letting people know, hey, this is an option when you're building your home, you know, that can be added in.
So should fire sprinklers be required in newly constructed homes? And if so, how much do they cost? We'll explore those questions tonight at 10. You're going to hear from a homeowner who has them and a local home builder on whether sprinklers should be mandated. That's in our in-depth report, Up in Flames, tonight on WGEM News at 10. Now to breaking news across the globe. An Iraqi military spokesman says Iraqi special forces have entered a sprawling military base next to Mosul's airport on the southern edge of the city.
This is a key advancement in this offensive. The push comes shortly after Iraqi federal police forces earlier today entered the airport grounds, taking control of the runway while exchanging fire with Islamic State militants who were hunkered down inside the airport buildings. The two-pronged advance is part of a U.S.-backed offensive aimed at driving the Islamic State group from western Mosul. And back in this country, while you were sleeping, demonstrators in California blocked streets in protest.
This comes after video surfaced of an off-duty LAPD officer firing a gun into a crowd. According to local NBC affiliate KNBC, around 9 o'clock last night, arrests were made. About 24 people were arrested. So we go to the video now. It was shot on Tuesday. You can see that off-duty officer arguing with a teen, allegedly after he asked the teen to get off his lawn. The officer fired a shot, clearing out a group of onlookers who had crowded around the officer. That bullet did not hit anyone.
Happening now, sections of northern Utah remain underwater this morning after rain and snow melt in recent days. Some pretty wild images here. The Utah National Guard has even been called in to help with sandbagging efforts. This video shot late yesterday in Box Elder County. That's where warm weather, rainfall, and massive snowmelt all hit at the same time, leaving about 90% of that area you're seeing underwater. Just unbelievable. Hundreds of people have been forced from their homes and businesses.
Day 2 of the 2017 Conservative Political Action Conference gets underway this morning. A long list of Republican political heavyweights will will speak at the gathering in Maryland, including White House staffers and lawmakers. Vice President Mike Pence will deliver his address this evening. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is scheduled to speak tomorrow morning.
Oh, there's a proposal in the Illinois State Legislature to rename a portion of I-55 after former President Barack Obama. A state rep from Chicago wants to rename 55 the Barack Obama Expressway, dedicating a 270-mile stretch of the interstate for the 44th president. Now, portions of I-55 are actually already named for two-time presidential candidate Adlai Stevenson. And one lucky winner is waking up very rich this morning.
Yeah, very rich. Powerball officials say that a winning Powerball jackpot ticket was sold last night in Indiana. The jackpot was worth $435 million, making it the 10th largest in Powerball history. Only one ticket may have scored the jackpot, but Powerball says there were millions of other prizes won, totaling more than $27 million.
I would go on vacation and just...
Permanent vacation.
Permanent vacation.
Permanent vacation. That's one way to put it.
Rotate about every 2 weeks. There you go. All right. Whitney, it's a little chilly out there, and we saw a pretty bad fog yesterday morning. Still some spots out there this morning dealing with that, too.
That's right. A little bit of fog out there for some, but the clouds definitely moving on in. Today's going to be overcast, and we have the chance for a few light showers. I'll give you all the details on your forecast coming up right after this break.
And as we head into break, we are following news happening now. We've got a live look at the International Space Station as the effort to dock the Russian cargo craft bringing food is underway. That's a live look there at the control panel at NASA. We'll be back after this at 6:11.
Breaking news this morning with the main suspect in the Berlin Christmas market attack was killed overnight in a shootout with police.
Authorities say the shootout took place in Milan during a routine police check. The news agency says Anas Amari pulled out a gun from his backpack after being asked to show his identity papers.
The Prime Minister of Australia crediting authorities with foiling a substantial terror plot. Police say they've arrested 7 suspects allegedly planning bomb attacks in Melbourne on Christmas Day. Authorities say they had been inspired by the Islamic State group.
Closer to home, a Quincy man reported missing yesterday has been found safe nearly 100 miles away. Authorities say that Arthur Piper, age 86, who suffers from dementia, was found in Mount Pleasant, Iowa at Hy-Vee looking for his daughter, who works at Hy-Vee in Quincy. A family member reported Piper found to the Adams County Sheriff's Office around 11:30 last night.
AAA says a record 103 million Americans expected to travel this holiday season, and local troopers want to make sure you are prepared. Sergeant Mike Hindhart with the Illinois State Police says during the holidays, the biggest thing is planning ahead.
That is this morning's top story recap. Here's Gene Kennedy with what's coming up tonight at 5.
Remember the old Polaroids? They develop your picture right after you took it. Those are not simply a thing of the past for a lot of people, especially at the holidays. We've got more on a retro Christmas trend later today on WGEM News at 5.
All right, well, we do have a little bit of some light snow moving through.
On that breaking news out of Malta on the Today Show, where it appears that this hostage situation on the tarmac is coming to an end.
That's right. As the Today Show have the latest on that, several breaking news stories this morning leave you with a live look from Malta this morning, where passengers just had started being released.